All right, so we're actually pretty on the news on this one. So Mark Zuckerberg came on Joe Rogan's podcast today and said that the Biden administration will call Meta to scream and curse at them to censor true information on their platforms.
They will, or they did before? They did. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the clip. We're going to watch this and react to this.
Yo, this is crazy.
It's heavy.
The Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're gonna see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. We just said no. We're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating, coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Wow.
So at the beginning, it kind of seemed like, okay, we should give a little bit of deference to the government and the health authorities on how we should play this. But when it went from, 2 weeks to flatten the curve to, and like in the beginning it was like, okay, there aren't enough masks aren't that important, to then it's like, oh no, you have to wear a mask, and everything was shifting around. It just became very difficult to kind of follow, and this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration, when they were trying to roll out the vaccine program. And now I'm generally like pretty pro rolling out vaccines. I think on balance, the vaccines are more positive than negative. But I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who is basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that were true. Right, I mean, they basically pushed us and said, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down.
Wow.
And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
that talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration.
So they were actively talking.
That's so clear.
Yeah.
But why is it that we had so much pushback during the time when it was like we got this information and then we talked about it?
Yeah.
And just talking about it, people were so fucking pissed and saying, you guys are
Can't question anything. You're killing people.
Yeah. And what blew my mind is like it came from a lot of longtime fans that liked that we openly talked about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So what made them out of nowhere such a fucking like I don't know, like they're
to
so
question
weird.
everything until you get into their religious thing. You know what I mean? And then they're like, well, no, not that.
I also feel like what happened is it was such a period of uncertainty, right? Like no one knows if it was a leak from the lab or like what is this thing? Like how many people are actually dying? And then there's people that say like ivermectin works and people say that doesn't work. Like no one knew anything. So it's so much chaos, so much uncertainty. So people try to like everyone wants to be righteous and morally correct somehow. So I think that anything that appears as like Superman, they just latch on. Not realizing that the appeared Superman is actually the devil in disguise. And I think that's why like if you question and it's such a time where everyone needed a savior. You're like, wait, I don't know if the savior actually has our best interest in mind. Everyone's like, you shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? Look at all these people dying. Why wouldn't you listen to him? Obviously, this guy's trying to save us. But everyone is just having one extra layer of scrutiny. And I think it's because of that time.
I feel like 2 years ago, if you asked Mark Zuckerberg, I think he was on the Senate or something, and he's like, sir, why are you censoring information? He'd say, we don't do that at Facebook.
Yeah.
And now he's out here saying, oops, yes, we did do that at Facebook.
Yeah.
So why do you guys think he's doing this?
So I have Facebook insiders, and during lockdown, remember when they were going fucking overboard with the censorship? And we would do jokes, and those jokes would be flagged by bots or sensitive people.
Yep. Satire always flagged.
Human reviews it, and then they go, actually, after we reviewed it, we believe that it's wrong or whatever. So I know people that are in Facebook and Instagram, and I asked them, like, what's going on? Like, and why is it being, like, policing, like, why is everybody in the team policing this way? And he said, to be honest, you know how he's on trial right now?
Yep.
So Zuck is on trial. And you know how he said, like, how Biden was like, these guys are killing people, they're responsible for all these things, right?
It wasn't just Biden either, it was hella Democrats saying the same shit.
Have you seen Social Dilemma?
No.
Okay, so they're linking Facebook for Trump's win
Okay.
and Hillary's loss, right?
Right.
And then they're saying Facebook allowed Russian bots
I remember that.
and foreign agents to come in and manipulate the American people and for voting Trump in and all this stuff. And they're saying Facebook is dangerous. Facebook, Instagram is out of control, right?
I think they ended up finding out it was like $40,000 worth of ads that were bought
Yeah.
about pro-Trump.
But
that's what they turned
at
into
the
a huge
time,
headline.
Facebook and Instagram, what they were facing was the government is basically taking the position of, you guys can't control your own platform. So you need us to take it over. So that's what was being under threat. And so my buddies over at Facebook was like, okay, now what we want to do is show the government that we are responsible at Facebook.
We'll play ball with you.
We have our house in order.
Right.
And by doing that, just a general rule of thumb, if it's risky, let's just not even deal with it.
down.
Yeah.
Let's not deal with it. It's risky, let's just play ball, right? So I think he was in a position where that thing was being so jeopardized and they didn't know what was going to happen. And then we all saw what happened with Twitter and what's his name? The dude that got pushed out of it.
Yeah.
The former owner.
Yeah.
Right? Jack Dorsey,
Yep.
right? So Twitter was made an example of. He basically lost control of his, like, everything, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same vision of what he had before. So during that time, they had to make a move of, let's just take the safe route and not even give them an opportunity to say,
Yeah, that's what Zuck is saying here. But why do you think he's coming out about this now?
because he feels safer with it. Because Biden's gonna be out, right? Now you have Trump, who's already shown that he was a victim of
Censorship. Yeah.
that, right? So, and clearly, if
really
he's
kicked
teaming
him
up
off.
with Elon, I don't think this is a moral judgment. I think this is a pivot.
A business pivot.
I think he was playing ball with the Biden administration because they were in power.
Yes.
Now Trump is about to come in,
Oh, yeah.
so now he has to pivot to
Move
that
with the
culture.
wind.
Yeah.
So it's a business.
so.
To me, it's a
Yeah.
survival move.
That makes
He's also
sense.
been Mr. America, if you haven't noticed, since Trump got shot. Like, he was, like, remember on a boogie board, like, drinking a beer with just like Uncle Sam, like, during July 4th?
Yeah. I think it's the MMA, dude. MMA made him way cooler. The martial arts saved his life, dude. He's way chill.
He's a man now.
Estrogen out of there.
I actually
That makes sense.
think these guys at that level, they're not playing a moral game. They're playing a
Playing ball.
completely different game.
Right.
Like, people think like most normal people, right? What they say, like, if they're in front of the camera or whatever, they'll be like, okay, this is how I represent, this is how I feel, this is what I'm doing. I think at that point, everything is constructed for a certain perception you want of people to see you.
I gotta say, I'm jealous of the people who could just go along to get along like this, because, like, I don't think that's what some of us in this room are made of, dude. Because I couldn't sit there and just echo all the same talking points as all the fucking news people were saying.
I think it's also helpful that like in the last few years he's gotten the example of like what Twitter has gone through turning into X and being a platform for free speech. Who's to say that he wasn't in the same boat when Elon took it over and was like, that shit's gonna fucking crash and burn.
He did shit all over.
That's what I'm saying. And then it didn't. And then
Right.
it worked out to be a certain type of thing that was like people flocked over to because they couldn't trust mainstream media and all
Yeah,
this stuff.
numbies don't lie.
Started blaming Facebook for all this stuff too. And then it's like, okay, well that does work and it's convenient as a business ploy to pivot at this time with Trump going into the administration. So it's like, you know, that's got to be a part of it as well. But we were talking about this during the break. Like, it's one thing to have like mainstream media and then every other social media platform that the majority of people in America use to be a certain way, and then you look at X as an outlier. You know, you can call it like the free speech platform, but if you don't like that, you're looking at it just like on its own island, doomed to fail, like as an outlier.
Yep.
You bring Facebook over there, which also owns Instagram, into that same kind of free speech world. The entire platform is going to shift, I think. Like the narrative for everything in America for the next few years at least is going to be completely different, because now it's not just X, it's Facebook, Instagram, all on this free speech train where people can be uncensored to say what they feel and stuff like that. Especially, you already know how extremely sensitive things like Instagram got.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like now like the whole world's just going to open up to like say what they feel and not be necessarily
It's gonna
censored.
be back to pre-20 internet.
It's kind of what we were talking about during 2020 when we were like, the pendulum has to swing the other way eventually.
Yeah.
This is it.
Because it was an overcorrection.
A lot of people
Feels like
were
you can see
afraid
them.
that this is gonna be the new normal, and I was like, nah, dude, like it's always gonna go back to
Just how long is it going to take?
yeah.
In your
it's
opinion, a good
timing.
thing, or where are you at with that? How do you guys?
Well, I think timing wise, we were getting in trouble for being too early. Like now, it's safe to say these things.
Yeah.
I think
We were talking
Zuck-
about lab leak when it was happening.
Yeah, and then look at how much people fucking hated me for that.
God, it was insane.
But these guys are good at timing. Because even if they personally felt this way, they waited for the right
They're
moment.
not broadcasting
Time
it.
to do it. Zuckerberg isn't going to get canceled for saying this now.
Because they have a good grasp on how people will react at certain things and how they can maneuver with that, right? So like they have a whole team is what I'm saying. We don't have that.
Right.
So we passionately feel something that we go, oh, that is a lab leak. Okay, let's talk about it. And everyone goes, you fucking conspiracy theorist.
You're killing people.
And
Well,
it's
also,
like,
if you're not a public company, because if you're a public company, you have to care about what you say all
that's
the time.
true.
That is true.
That's true.
That's why I think like
Private, like some people don't know about it.
Look at me.
that's why I think it's beside the point if Mark even wants to be like anything. I'm sure he has an advisory board or like main shareholders that tell him it's his responsibilities as a figurehead of
You
the.
don't think he wants to run for president one day or some shit like
He
that?
might.
Maybe I don't know.
I think
I think
Trump
they
started
are.
a new precedence, though.
I do too.
Because he's the first entrepreneur
Yeah,
president.
for him to get in there
First
like
guy who
that.
never did anything politics and
Yeah.
then just gets in the presidency and now got reelected.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The only
Re-elected
one
is
closest to
wild.
that was Ross Perot.
Yeah.
Ross Perot is the only.
If you remember after January 6th, he got banned from everything.
Yeah.
He was completely shut off and like thrown in the dark basically
Yep.
and came back and won.
Yeah, it's a
And
big
then
deal.
won the popular vote.
Twitter,
big
off
fucking
Facebook.
It's insane.
That's a mad comeback story.
It's the craziest comeback story I've
And
ever
people are
heard.
like, I can't believe they just elected a criminal. Huh. America's crazy.
Yeah. A criminal rapist. All that bullshit. It's crazy.
Grab him by the pussy.
We could say that again.
Finally.
You just made a clip for yourself.
He said, grab him by the pussy.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said,
That's
grab
cool.
him.
That's
Put it
cool.
all over TikTok. All over TikTok, please.
TikTok's gonna be dead.
Oh, yeah.
Do it now. Do it now.
It does feel good, though, that all the things that we were talking about here was legitimate. Like, it's everyone is coming out talking about it.
Ahead of your time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's too
Matters to me,
early.
Matters to
People
me.
like disappeared. Like nobody's gonna come back and be like, "Hey, sorry, I said
Nobody does that ever.
to you."
No.
That's the part that sucks.
Yeah.
Where you like, you're the guy that like, let's say started like cola. And it was disgusting. And then the third guy that comes with Coca-Cola, dude, that's so bomb. And you're like, that was my recipe. We made it. What the fuck? You know?
People are gonna be like, "Oh, but back when you said it, you didn't explain it like he did."
There it is.
There's people that are owning these companies, confirming the details, and people are still
Yeah.
in disbelief.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
Yeah.
What is it gonna take?
I don't